I-86 After Dark recommends simply the best cleaning services. Call 716-912-6940. Western New York's cleaning and restoration leader. From Buffalo to Long Island, this is I-86 After Dark.
Welcome to I-86 After Dark, everybody. It's Wednesday night, February 18th. Of course, you got Buffalo Bob, the Great Dame here, myself, Ginger Hammer. Guys, how's it going?
I am thrilled because, you know what? Today's what, the 18th of February? Mm-hmm. So at that point, my wife and I officially could say that we're at the 9-month period of our pregnancy, and my son could be born at any moment. So it's going to be life-changing, and you know what? At the end of the day, it's all going to work out.
Yeah, for sure. And then, Dame, you're on the mend. You made one step closer to progress today, so that's all good, man.
Yeah, it was super exciting because I went from my first appointment since I broke my leg, and the nurse started cutting off my cast, and I was like, really? It's coming off already? And she's like, yep, you're going into a walking boot, except I'm not quite walking yet, but, you know, it's a lot better than the cast.
Yeah,
well,
for sure.
Yeah. Well, considering, you know, you have a lot more movement than being limited based on, you know, being in the cast. And plus, I'm sure that, you know, you could probably, you know, wash yourself down a little bit, considering like, this cast is on my foot and it's probably going to smell down there.
Yeah, I could take a real shower now instead of like a towel bath.
Oh, God.
Oh, good stuff, man. So hey, as I say, you on the mend and you having your son, time to break out the Jack Daniels.
Oh, man. I didn't get a drink again tonight.
It's all good.
Maybe next week.
Yeah,
I'm just excited, man. I mean,
that stuff's good, man.
Yeah,
I got a ginger ale.
Fair enough. Yeah, thanks, boys. I can't wait. But you know what? It kind of sucks because I've already told you guys that, what was it? Today's the 18th. So in 2 weeks, March 4th is my last show before, you know, I go on my 1-month hiatus. You know, I'm going to be taking a partial leave from the show so I could be with my family and be there for my son. And then these two idiots are going to take over the show for a little while. And I'm counting on them to do good things.
It's all good, man. It'll all be good, you know.
We're going to destroy it by the time you come back.
Yeah, right? It's all good though. And who knows? We may still have some different guests and people showing up here randomly and all that, and you know, all is good. So you know, we'll keep it going. But in the meantime, of course, you guys know the deal. If you want to comment, feel free. We're on all the major platforms, and of course, if you want to listen to any of our older stuff, go to Spotify and you can download us. But that being said, first thing, we don't have a whole ton of things happening tonight, but one of the big stories is the Combine is getting started. And, of course, anyone who is following that, basically the live coverage of the Combine is going to start on February 26th on NFL Network and NFL Plus. But, of course, the NFL, they've already released the players are going to be there. So, of course, right now we're looking at probably at least like almost 20 quarterbacks, a ton of running backs, wide receivers, you name it. A lot of running backs this year, actually. A lot of tight ends, offensive linemen, you name it, you're going to see it.
Yeah, and you know what? I think from a retrospective that if your team is in the top 10, then there's definitely a lot to look forward to as far as like, you know, the Raiders, the Jets, the Cardinals, you know, all the shitty teams that basically miss the playoffs, or unless you're like Kansas City or Cincinnati or even the Rams, who somehow have a top draft pick. It's like, well, there's a lot to look forward to. And, you know, you could basically scout all half of these guys, and it's like, shit, you know, at that point we could pick anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's some pretty interesting standouts.
Yeah, do you guys actually have
What's up?
Joy.
No, I said, do you guys actually have an NFL Network that actually watch the combine?
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, see, I
I
don't.
do.
So I never really been into the combine that much. The draft, yes, but
Well,
I
of
don't know.
course, yeah, the draft. Yeah, but no, I have NFL Network on my cable package, and actually, I found out my place are actually instead of rent going up this coming year, we're going to be paying an extra $55 a month of Spectrum to get high speed internet and a full cable package. So I'm like, oh, that's nice. So yeah, my cable bill's going up again. But it'll be
Everything
interesting
going
to
up.
see if they upgrade my TV package because I already have the second damn highest internet package there is.
Well, I mean, I actually spend a good chunk of the money on Fubo, and if you haven't used Fubo yet, I highly recommend it, especially during like football season because of the idea that you get NFL Red Zone. That's part of the deal to begin with, and it's actually really helpful, especially like for me and my wife because we watch almost every Bills game. We don't use it unless the Bills are playing, and then if it's like that's in like the Panthers, then obviously we're gonna use it. But no, it's really been a very helpful tool, and I really really enjoy it.
Yeah. Actually, one of the things I'm looking into now, because of course, now I was looking into it, except now I'm going to be stuck with the cable package, and obviously I can't really unbundle it because I have my phone through them also. So I'd basically be losing some deals. But I actually found out DirecTV, you don't need a satellite dish anymore. You can just stream through the app.
Really?
So yeah. Yeah, DirecTV, they have an app now. You can get all the channels on there without needing a dish.
Damn, look at you go.
So, yeah, except the only thing is it's going to cost me a hell of a lot more than my cable probably, and I'm locked into 2 years.
Ugh, that sucks.
Otherwise, otherwise it's an early termination, which that kind of sucks.
Yeah, I used to have Fobo or Fubu, whatever it's called. I got rid of it. I mean, I've been watching the Bills games here in Buffalo, and the Giants haven't really been worth watching the last couple of years. So, I mean, that might change very soon. So,
well, I mean, considering all the moves that they made, getting Harbaugh, and then possibly whoever they bring in into free agency. And by the way, Damien, I have a quick prediction for you as far as like free agency goes. I actually expect the Giants to acquire Tyler Linderbaum from the Baltimore Ravens in free agency.
Okay. All right.
I like.
Yeah, it's an interesting little prediction here.
To go along with whoever we draft. So, we'll see.
Well, the Ravens, I don't think the Ravens are going to bring him back. Plus, I think a lot of people who were under the Ravens system were really indulged with Harbaugh. So I think a lot of players acknowledge, because the Giants have him, they're like, well, we may as well just go over to, the Hudson River across the state of New Jersey and play in a big market like New York and represent the Giants. And you know what? It wouldn't shock me if even this coming year, it wouldn't shock me if the Giants somehow make the playoffs.
I mean, if everybody could stay healthy, it could be like that first year under Daboll. And they could surprise everybody and maybe sneak in.
That's a very strong possibility. But you know what? Free agency is literally like 3 weeks from now, and we're not far off from like player acquisitions and trades and things like that, which could happen even right now, but nothing has really come across yet, at least from, what we know about. Yeah. But Tom, wasn't there a story that came out earlier about Deion Dawkins that you wanted to share?
Yeah, so there's that, and then of course we got the new Highmark Stadium vandalism story as well. But yeah, this morning on X, so Deion Dawkins ended up having a big issue with JetBlue, and it is alleged that after Deion Dawkins spent $10,000 to give his family an experience, put them all on first class with JetBlue Mint, which is their high-end package from LA to Fort Lauderdale, employees allegedly stole his fiance's jewelry out of their bag. Rolex watches, about $15,000 a piece.
I don't understand. Why would anybody do that?
I mean, airline employees, they figure, hey, steal a Rolex watch, make some nice money off of it.
I mean, it happens more often than you think, with the baggage handlers going through people's luggage and taking
Oh yeah.
small items.
Mm.
Unfortunately, a Rolex is not a small item and is not
No.
easily going to be missed.
Yeah. And someone pawning that off, holy crap, they can make a shit ton of money off of it.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
thought Rolexes had like all special serial numbers and they could be traced and you couldn't pawn them, but maybe I was
Yeah.
wrong.
They might. I'm not like 100% sure how that would work, but then again, I've never had enough money to own a Rolex, so I couldn't tell you, but
right. Well, for me, I never really own a Rolex either, so I have no real opinion on it. Plus, considering I do own an Apple Watch, but I think that's
Mm.
all I really need is an Apple Watch. I don't need a $10,000 Rolex watch because I would never wear it to begin with.
Right, right. Yeah, so basically JetBlue, they responded pretty quick. They're like, we're going to take a closer look into this, which means let's just hope this shit blows over.
Yeah,
Possibly.
no, JetBlue is going to get exposed big time, especially
Mhm.
with they're going to get exposed for basically committing theft among the employees. It's like you don't do something like that. It doesn't matter if he's a full-fledged celebrity. It doesn't matter if he's an NFL
Mhm.
player or anything else for that matter. You can't be doing that to other people's personal belongings, and that's just extremely criminal.
Yes, grand larceny.
Yep. And we actually have a comment that came in already. Jay says, "What's happening, fellas? Hope you had a good Valentine's Day weekend with your loved ones." Jay, I could certainly say with pure satisfaction that yes, I definitely had a great Valentine's Day weekend because, like I said earlier on the show, my wife and I are at the 9 month mark, and my son
Mhm.
could be born at any moment. So from here on out,
Hmm. Yeah. So, it's all good, and I mean, didn't really do a whole ton this weekend either, but it's like, hey, it's all good, So,
yeah. Whatever happened to Damien?
I don't know. Can you still hear me?
yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
can
can
hear
hear you.
you.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what happened to my video. All of a sudden,
No,
my internet went crazy, and then
right?
everything dropped out.
Huh? That's
That's
weird.
that is weird. I've never
Usually, I
seen
don't
that.
have any connection problems, so I don't know what happened.
Maybe
Hmm.
your camera's off, but who knows? But
I don't think
yeah,
so.
no, yeah, but hopefully the whole thing with Deion Dawkins gets worked out in the end.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll see what goes on with it, and and then in the meantime, to add more fuel to the fire here, there was a big story that came out yesterday, actually, that work at the new Highmark Stadium has been suspended, and that's because there was vandalism that took place inside the new stadium, including areas that are restricted and off access, where you have to see the general public, which means you have to have a badge to get in certain areas. So apparently, there were several suites that were damaged. There were secured areas that were damaged, and apparently the total to fix everything is over $150,000.
Jesus. And didn't you say something about like there was some slurs that were thrown around
Mm-hmm.
or some shit like that?
Yeah, so apparently, some of the vandalism was porn. So there was that, porn images, and it basically slurs against the LGBTQIAA plus plus, whatever you want to call it. I lost how many track of letters there are. Sorry, no offense to any of you guys. We're not making fun of you or anything like that. But it is something where it is what it is. So unfortunately, that's what's going on. However, basically, construction is suspended right now until they figure out exactly who it is. But the stadium is still expected to be done on time, even with having to redo the areas that were vandalized.
I wonder who's going to be paying for those repairs. Probably taxpayers again.
Well, if they find who it is, they're going to put it all on the person that damaged it. And they're
Yeah,
going to be up shit's creek because that's a lot of money.
I
Yeah,
laugh
we
because
actually
everywhere online, everywhere online had that guy that that tags everything. The little stick
wait,
figure with the heart. I was
yeah,
like, oh
wait a minute.
Jesus.
Wait a minute, boys. We actually have a comment from our own
So
channel.
what the fuck?
I have always been black at 2% according to Ancestry.
What?
Because Jay asked when I turned black, and I said, "Well, I've always been 2%."
Oh my god!
I was gonna say, since when did our own channel start commenting on our own stuff?
Yeah, I have no idea because I've tried to. I had to reboot, and then it's making me post under our.
Did you write that?
I wrote it.
Okay. Oh man.
Oh my god, what a laugh. Oh my god.
Man.
It's only 2% though, so I can't really say much. It's only 2%.
Oh,
hey, there you go. You can still qualify for certain things, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's fucking crazy. But
it is. But
what were you gonna say, Tom, before all that?
Yeah. But that being said though, the stadium's still gonna open on time. They're gonna keep going forward. Just unfortunately, we don't know how long work is going to be suspended, but they can't suspend it long.
No.
So.
You're pretty tight.
Absolutely. Yeah. But you know what? I will say the other thing that came out this week, because the news actually broke on Friday, like Friday afternoon, and the story was the Bills actually hired John Fox as a senior assistant coach for the Buffalo Bills.
I'm liking this move.
Why is that?
Well, one, John Fox has actually done good things in the NFL. He's actually won titles, which is good. The fact is also a lot of experience that Joe Brady can rely on, so that's a big plus. And actually, overall, I would say, like, with everyone that Joe Brady has brought in so far, he's actually built a pretty nice staff around him.
I mean, I do like the staff. I mean, Pete Carmichael, Jim Leonard, John Fox, and then he's bringing in some coaches from Arizona, which, oh, fuck's sake, we got comments, a lot of them, but we'll get to them in a little bit. But no, I think the John Fox thing is very interesting because I didn't think, for one, he was still coaching in the NFL, and I found out that the dude hasn't coached in like 3 years, which I'm just like, oh my God. 3-4 years at max that he hasn't been coaching in the NFL. He's definitely too old to be a head coach, but he's definitely good to be like an assistant at this point, which if you really want to take it into consideration, the Bills are bringing in a second head coach for veteranosity.
Yeah, and and it's good because, I mean, we know like rookie head coaches are going to make mistakes. They're going to do different things. But at least now he's got like a really good experienced set of eyes that he can actually bounce different things off of and rely on. So that's a big plus. And John Fox has won in the NFL. So he's not a bad pick by any means. And honestly, I think like with what we've seen with offensive coordinator, of course, Pete Carmichael, defensive coordinator with Jim Leonard, and then where he's filled in with special teams and some of the position coaches, I think this could be a very good thing for the Bills. And he's actually gone out and got some really good people that McDermott would have never gotten.
Yeah, I was going to say John Fox, like the former New York Giant, but he's also been with the Steelers, the Chargers, the Raiders, the Rams, the Panthers, the Broncos, the Bears, Colts, the Lions, and now the Bills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's been around and he knows the game. I mean, there's no question. And of course, he won the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning in his last season. He basically was brought in to put him over the top.
I don't think John Fox won the Super Bowl when Peyton Manning was there. I think he was there when they got blown out by Seattle the first time, but I think he got replaced by Gary Kubiak. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, you're right about that. I was mixing it up because he lost to New England with the Carolina Panthers, and then you're right. They actually Denver lost to the Seattle Seahawks. Looking back at it, so you are right about that. But he is one of only 6 coaches ever in NFL history to lead 2 different teams to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you know what? We actually have some comments coming in, all from Jay, because it says, "Dame, when you turn black."
That's why I commented on it. Because my screen went black, and then he said I turned black, and I said I've always been 2%.
Oh God, fucking shoot me! And then. Yeah, and then he then says Tyreek Hill is now a free agent. All of you guys are diehard Bills fans. Should Buffalo make a play? Love to hear your thoughts. Let me put it to this way. No.
Yeah, I think he's washed. He's too much of a head case. Like, no.
I was going to say, do we need a cancer in the locker room right now?
I mean,
No.
It's bad enough that Stephon Diggs just got removed 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, Stephon Diggs has a lot more shit to worry about now that Cardi B dumped his ass.
Yeah. Well, it's not only just Cardi B, mind you. It's also going to be the Patriots pretty soon because allegedly the Patriots are going to waive him or at least release him, and it'll save the Patriots $20 million by doing so.
Right. Hey, cap casualty. Always happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually what happens, but holy balls. Like, never in a million years did I think that, the Bills would be in the same conversation as having Tyreek Hill on the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I doubt that it would happen.
You never know, but I think he's more interested in, retiring as a member of the Chiefs because it's like, I think he deep down knows that he's not going to win shit with Tua, and he knew that when he got traded. And he's like, oh, look at me. I actually could win those Super Bowls without Patty Mahomes. And then what happens? Patrick Mahomes wins 3 Super Bowls. Well, yeah, he's won 2 Super Bowls without him. So that kind of contradicts his argument, which is stupid.
Do you think that Kansas City would take him back on the cheap?
Oh, yeah. Well, that doesn't take a genius. That they would easily do it. They easily would do it. Because, for one, he wouldn't be good anywhere else. And on top of all that, he knows Andy Reid. He knows the system. And now, imagine having Tyreek Hill and Rajee Rice on the same team. 2 cancers for the price of 1. Sold!
Mm-hmm.
And it's bad. Well, it's already bad enough that his ex-girlfriend is suing him for like $10 million because of like abuse allegedly or some shit like that. I didn't fully read it, but Rajee Rice is apparently in more trouble again by his ex for allegedly abusing her and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah. Well, good luck, Stephon Diggs. You're going to need it. And good luck, Tyreek Hill, because you're fucked too.
Yeah. Well, did you guys see what happened with the Dolphins over the week? Speaking of Tyreek Hill?
Well, Dolphins are doing dolphin things. We know that.
I don't know. I've been mostly watching the Olympics, so if it's not Olympic related, I don't really know too much.
All right. Well, let me fill you in then, Dame, because the Miami Dolphins allegedly are cutting the bank at $30 million because they are releasing Tyreek Hill and they also released Bradley Chubb. And both of these moves happened on Monday during President's Day. And I'm just sitting there, I'm thinking, wow, the Dolphins are going to suck next year. And I also found out today the Miami Dolphins are either going to trade or release Minkah Fitzpatrick. And because of the dead cap hit, you want to take an estimate guess of how much the dead cap space the Dolphins are going to carry into the spring?
Probably like at least 50 million.
More.
60?
More.
75.
More.
What?
90?
You're very close. 100.
That's
Holy
crazy.
Jesus.
Well,
So they're done for about 5 years.
Yeah, so think about this for a minute, Tom. You overpay for Tua. You
Right.
overpaid for Tyreek Hill. You overpaid for Bradley Chubb. And you and I called the trade at that time. We said that this was a waste, that Miami went all in just for what exactly? And then you also brought back Minkah Fitzpatrick, and half of that money was dumped from trading Jalen Ramsey last summer, if you remember.
Yeah, I mean, that was totally dumb, like what they did. It's like, okay, you're already in cap hell. Let's put yourself in more cap hell.
I mean, they saved $30 million, but that's literally like enough. But speaking of enough, apparently the Bills are going to restructure some contracts, and if they do so, that's going to save them up to $75 million in cap space, which is more than enough to what they need to address the positions.
Well, maybe Allen can take that Otani deal, where he gets all of his money deferred and he just takes $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think Patrick Mahomes just restructured, I think, $43 million of that cap. Because remember, he signed for another 5 seasons. So, Patrick Mahomes, when you sign a player for $200 million or $500 million for a decade, then you have a lot of wiggle room to work with there. But the Chiefs are done regardless because Mahomes is not coming back until Christmas time. Kelsey's probably going to retire if he's not picked up by KC at this point. And now they need a running back. It's like, what do you do in that situation?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, for the Dolphins, I don't care about them, but I just think it's funny that they had to pretty much get rid of like the Mike McDaniel guys just for this to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing. It's like, hey, good old Tyler Tarabucci, guess what? Your Dolphins ain't doing shit this year.
Well, who's going to be worse, the Dolphins or the Jets?
Yeah, good question. That's a toss-up.
Oh, that is tough. Throw the Browns in there. Throw the Browns in there too for the trio.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be even worse.
Well, if you want to talk about anatomy of worse, I've also heard rumors today the Dolphins are looking into either Malik Willis, which is no surprise at all, or they're talking about adding Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh God,
man, that guy's got 9 lives.
How is Jimmy G still a QB in this league after all this time?
Because he's so good looking.
Oh, I'm Fabio with my hair. Oh, look at my hair. It looks so great. All these women love me anywhere I go. And they want to see me throw the damn ball and really impress.
But yet all he dates is porn stars. So
yeah, he probably ends up blowing someone's wang or something too. Who knows?
Yeah.
Probably plays both sides of the fence.
Yeah. Jay actually asked us 3 teams come to mind for Hill: the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens. If you guys don't want Tyreek, then who should the Bills go for? Well, we kind of already answered this question. And we both, Damien and I were talking about this last week, as well as Tom. Or actually, it was just me and Tom last week. And we were talking about this
here. I was here, man. I was here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. I forgot. My bad. But no, so the 3 of us were here last week, and we touched up on it very briefly that the Bills should get Justin Jefferson, but it's going to cost much. I mean, at this point, if you're going all in with the new regime and all that shit, do it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I know we discussed them, like the Bills sending them Dawson Knox, but they already got Hawkinson, correct?
Right.
Yeah, and Hawkinson would be going into next year would be the highest paid tight end, and Dawson Knox would be the 3rd highest paid tight end. So I don't think that would work.
Yeah. especially at this point. I think the Bills are more in favor of Dalton Kincaid than they are with Dawson Knox.
The Bills need to move on from Dawson Knox, but I don't think they're going to take him in a Justin Jefferson trade, unfortunately.
Right.
No, I don't see it happening. I think, if anything, it's probably going to cost maybe 2 first-round picks, a 4th and a 7th, and maybe a player like Keon Coleman. I don't know. It's tough to say because I think the Vikings are going to want the picks. That's the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing to have. But who knows? Speaking of big things to have, did you see what happened with the 49ers?
Yeah, they're going to be irrelevant.
Well, not only that, they're also getting a shit ton of travel next year. And the reason I bring this up is it was already announced a few weeks ago that the 49ers are going to be hosting the LA Rams in Melbourne, Australia at some point in October. We don't know when, but it's been announced. It's also been announced that the San Francisco 49ers are not only going to Melbourne, Australia, they're also going to be hosting a regular season game at the Estadio Banorte in Mexico City, Mexico. And on top of all that, this also includes 2 cross-country road games at the Falcons and the Giants. And then they might be the most well-traveled team in the NFL going into next season. And it's already being said as well that getting a road game in Melbourne and then a home game in Mexico City is pretty much the same day in the same season is crazy enough. That's over 19,000 travel miles in 2 trips that would rank 12 among travel miles for all games for teams last season.
That's nuts. It's like, how many, like seriously, it's like, how many games you got to have is like road home games?
So basically, if depending on how everything works out, you might potentially be taking away, if not 1, possibly 2 home games away from the Niners in San Francisco, just for the benefit of Goodell's wallet.
Jeez.
I mean, Kittle and McCafferty were at the U.S. men's hockey game today. So they already like to travel. They're already over in Italy. They're good.
Yeah, they're up for it.
Yeah, but I think for a mental state, because it's 6 months of grinding, at that point, I would think, to say the least, I would think that it's a good team bonding chemistry kind of setup. But I'm not crazy about the idea of them having 2 international games. I don't think that's fair. The only reason I think any team would get this kind of treatment is if you're relocating. That's it. The Niners are not relocating. They have Levi Stadium, but it's like, why did you pick San Francisco to host 2 international games next season?
Who knows? It's just crazy that they're going to be doing 2 international games, because usually I would think if the NFL is going to make a team do an international game, it's usually going to be 1 a season.
Yeah, it could have been a quid pro quo for getting the Super Bowl this year. We'll give you the Super Bowl, but now you got to do these 2 games the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of bullshit, if I'm being honest. It's pretty.
Oh, it is bullshit.
I don't think that's exactly fair.
Yeah, especially if you're making teams do like international games every single season. It's like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't like the idea that the NFL is basically forcing other teams to participate in a game that hardly no one watches. I mean, if the Jaguars were like a decade ago when they were hot garbage and they still did that shit, forget it. Nobody would be watching. But I think at some point it's going to get to a point or a situation where the players in the NFLPA is going to have to step in, because Roger Goodell is like, well, we want to make sure that, we play games in other countries to represent our game. Like, I think it's great they're promoting it, but I think it gets to a point where it's too much.
Mm-hmm. It's true. And now it's like, I know Goodell wants every single team to have at least 1 international game a year, but it's like, where are you going to put all these games?
Yeah, really. And it's like you have to pick them at different locations. I mean, there's one coming up in Brazil. There's one coming up in Melbourne, Australia. Now there's one in Mexico City. There's one in Paris, in France in December next year. It's like you're counting on like 10 countries in 10 or 25 different cities to have a validation to host, an NFL game. I think to them, that's like hosting the Winter Classic. Like, again, I understand that you're trying to promote the game, but I think it gets to a certain point where it's just too much travel, too much money, too much endorsements, too much of this and of that. It's a lot of money. It's not easy to travel from one country to another, especially when you're a monopoly like the NFL. Imagine if it's like Disney, for example. If Disney told everybody, hey, by the way, we're going to go on tour for an entire year in different parts of the world. Forget Florida and California. We're going to go to the middle of India, and we're going to stay there for a month. And then we're going to go to another place somewhere in like Nepal or something. Or if like, oh, we have to go to Siberia to have Disney World. You think the actors and the workers would enjoy that shit, considering all the manufacturing and construction? No, I don't think anybody would enjoy it, if I'm being honest.
Right. Very true. And we actually do have a developing story now out of the Kansas City Chiefs. And remember last season when we ended up covering the whole thing about Rashee Rice?
Yes.
Oh, he's going to be in court again. So apparently, the ex-girlfriend of Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice has filed a civil suit against Rice for alleging he abused her for over a year. So his girlfriend Dakota Jones said in her suit that was filed on Monday in Dallas County, Texas, that Rice was physically abusive from December of 2023 through July of 2025, and there were 3 specific dates in that time frame. So this is coming from Yahoo Sports, and I will tell you some of the stuff that's going to be described here is a little bit graphic, which, of course, if you guys have been on the show long enough, you know we put the disclaimer on the show up front, but we just want to give you a heads up. There's going to be some accusations of physical abuse in this actual paragraph that was in that suit. So it says, quote, defendant Rashee Rice and plaintiff Dakota Jones lived together. Following an escalation in violent behavior in December of 2023, defendant Rashee Rice strangled plaintiff Dakota Jones at their shared home in Victory Park, Texas. Defendant Rashee Rice continued to repeatedly assault Dakota Jones over the course of their relationship through July 2025, the suit says. Then also, quote, defendant Rice has grabbed, choked, strangled, pushed, thrown, scratched, hit, and headbutted Miss Jones, as well as hit her with inanimate objects. Additionally, he has engaged in other violent and abusive behaviors towards Miss Jones, including throwing objects, destroying property, punching walls, and breaking furniture, as well as locking her out in the middle of the night. Many of these behaviors occurred while Miss Jones was pregnant. End the quote. So the suit is asking for damages over $1 million, and they have 2 kids together. And apparently on Valentine's Day, Rice posted a picture of himself with an Instagram influencer to his own account with a heart covering up a gesture he was making with his right hand.
So I think it's safe to say that he's basically Antonio Brown, but a little bit more shittier, because I don't respect anybody who treats women like shit.
Exactly. So she's asking for over $1 million, and that's going to go to court. So that ended up coming out of the Kansas City Chiefs a little bit earlier, but that's one of those things. Obviously, abuser, that's never a good thing.
No.
Yeah.
No. Fucking asshole.
And then, of course, on top of that, Anthony Richardson from the Indianapolis Colts is looking to get out, and he may be going to Pittsburgh since they need a QB.
God damn. Pittsburgh.
I mean, he tried to get out last year with that freak gym injury.
Right. Right. Like, remember when he was criticized? It's like, no, I'm going to take a break. I'm too tired to go in and play this series, or I don't feel like I want to go in right now, so I'm just going to sit this one out.
Yeah. That sounds like a quarterback you want on your team.
Yeah. It's like, really, Pittsburgh? Do you really want someone that wants to sit on his ass every so often when he only plays when he actually feels like he wants to play?
I mean, in all fairness, I would too if I was playing for the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah,
but
very true.
You know what? I mean, I've also heard the Vikings were interested. I mean, I could see the Vikings making a play for Richardson. I mean, they have to make it up for some time, because you have the whole Sam Darnold debacle a year ago, letting him go to Seattle, winning a Super Bowl, and then J.J. McCarthy. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, how much more ineffective can you possibly get?
Yeah, seriously. It's just nuts. It's like anything that you wouldn't want to happen apparently is going on.
Yeah, we'll see. And then Jay says, do the Bills want Juwan Jennings? I'm going to say no. I think there's better options than Jennings, but that's just me personally.
It wouldn't be bad to have, but I think there's other ways you can go about it.
Without a doubt. And then to wrap up the first half, we've already got some notifications saying that the franchise tag frenzy is actually starting to come up soon. I think either today or tomorrow, something with the lines of that, where teams have at least 3 weeks to get their players tagged and stuff like that. And there are some names thrown out there already, like guys like George Pickens is one that could be tagged. Brees Hall, I've heard that's rumored to be tagged by the Jets. So we really don't know for certain, but we're going to find out.
Yeah. And actually, another couple that are kind of interesting, besides, of course, what we just mentioned, Danny Dimes.
I think he stays in Indianapolis, if I'm being honest. I think he stays.
Yeah. So he might get tagged also. That might be another one. And there is also talk about Troy Hendrickson getting a franchise tag. And then Kyle Pitts is another one that might get one.
I'm actually interested where he goes. I don't know if the Falcons want to let him go because he actually had a pretty solid year last year.
He did. So it'll be fun to find out. But, I mean, that's going to be there for about the next 3 weeks or so.
For the most time. What do you think, Dame? Do you think Kyle Pitts stays?
I think he'll stay, but I just don't agree with trying to franchise tag a player in any situation. It just creates resentment between the owners, the players, especially the players. I don't think it ever works in anybody's favor.
It usually doesn't. I mean, I remember when the Steelers franchise tagged Le'Veon Bell all those years ago because he thought $12 million at that time was insulting by the Steelers. And he ended up taking a pay cut and played for the Jets like a year later. It's like, you fucking asshole.
And his career was over.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Oh,
how many times you got to tell these players you don't go to the Jets?
Well, there's that. Well, I think anybody would say, I want to play in a big market. Well, playing for the Jets doesn't help. But yeah, no, Jay just said in the second half, I want to see Bobby explain all of the curling cheating scandals allegations. Oh, I got a lot of jokes. I got jokes for that one, motherfuckers.
Yeah, there was a lot of fingering going on.
Yeah, there was. The Canadians versus the Swedes. So, yeah, we could definitely talk about that in the second half. Actually, you know what? We'll lead the second half off with that. And of course, besides that, we'll talk about the Olympic hockey. Of course, we see a lot of things getting pretty intense with that. Gold medal game is coming up. And then, of course, we have a little bit of NHL news. So, hey, let's take our break, and we'll be right back on the flip side.
Yes, you will.
This episode of I-86 After Dark is brought to you by the Long Island Bills backers. If you're a Buffalo Bills fan living on Long Island, there's only one place to be on game day. Instant Replay in Huntington Station, New York, with 56 TVs, 4 pool tables, and an atmosphere that feels just like Orchard Park. You'll never miss a snap. Grab one of their delicious burgers, sink your teeth into their award-winning wings, or try their stacked sandwiches. There's something for everyone. So join the Long Island Bills backers this season and be part of the biggest Bills family on the island. Check out their Facebook group or just scan the QR code in our show notes to get connected. Go Bills!
All right. Welcome back to the second half of I-86 After Dark. You got the Ginger Hammer, the Great Dane, and Buffalo Bob here for the next little bit. Of course, we're on all the platforms. If you guys want to comment, feel free to drop us a line. And then, of course, if you want to see some of our older stuff, go to Spotify and you can download us at any time. So one of the things, and yes, Jay, we will talk about it, the Olympic curling scandal, the cheating scandal. And basically what ended up happening is that this happened on Friday, where it was in the Cortina Curling Olympic Stadium, and the Swedish team and the Canadian team were going at it. And Canadian curler Mark Kennedy cursed out Oscar Eriksson from the Swedish team, telling him he can fuck off. And then, of course, the hot mic moment streamed live to shock curling fans came after the ninth end as the Canada-Sweden match, where Canada won 8-6, ended up coming towards a close. And basically the fallout says, quote, the spirit of curling, it challenges it, and it raises questions about the future of the sport. So apparently Kennedy was angry on the Canadian team because the Swedish team accused him of repeatedly cheating by touching a stone beyond the so-called hog line. So then in curling, what happens, and this is actually right out of surprisingly, NPR, which I never read, but this is what it's coming from. So in curling, of course, you use a 40-pound heavy granite rock down sheets of ice, and they have to release the rock before a line drawn in the ice known as a hog line. Otherwise, the stone is disqualified and is taken out of play. Well, apparently, according to the Swedish team, Kennedy had been double touching the stone, releasing the stone's handle, which has electronic sensors, but then poking the rock itself and keeping a finger on it as it cruised over the line. So Swedish curler Nicholas Adden said after the match, that is not allowed. It's pretty clearly stated in quotes. So then on top of it, Adden actually accused Kennedy of doing the move on purpose. And he said, you don't touch 20 kilograms of granite with your fingertips without feeling it. It's completely impossible. We in the sport know how very few grams of pressure can change the speed when it already has a movement forward. You can move some degree of the angle too.
Yeah,
okay,
he's
so
a liar. You can't drop a digit on a 20-pound.
Yeah, the 40-pound rock. Anyways, curling officials said that they didn't see any violations, so they couldn't call it. And then Kennedy from Canada denied it. He said, I've curled my whole life, never once with the intention of getting an advantage through cheating. And so when my integrity gets attacked, I get my back up and get a little bit aggressive. I could have handled it better, no question. And he refused to apologize to Eriksson. So basically, for anyone who tried to understand my Swedish voice, I apologize for that impression. But sorry, no fucks given.
Okay, I have so many questions to ask you about that. First off, that is the best Swedish accent I have ever heard because it makes you sound like you're an angry German. I just want to be straightforward with that. It's like, you know, it sounds fucking German, my guy. And second,
the funny thing is, I'm not even German.
Yeah, I'm part German, dumbass.
Yeah, I'm part Polish and part Czechoslovakian, so.
I just found out like a week ago that I'm 1% Lithuanian.
Oh, not quite my 2% black.
Should I call myself Swedish now? It's like, should I go down to the river fjord and like try to pick up a curling stone or something?
Now do the Swedish chef.
Oh, fuck.
I can't remember.
He lives on Sesame Street, dumbass.
Oh no, the Swedish chef, the Muppet.
Yeah, the Muppet.
Exactly. He lives on Sesame Street, dumbass.
And here we are, we're doing impressions, and Jay is laughing his ass off in the comments.
Good, because we are purveyors of entertainment. Let's put it that way. But no, I think it's hilarious that it takes cheating. I mean, pushing a rock. And I was having this conversation with my wife not even 3 days ago. And the comments all over TikTok are like, Canada, this is why nobody likes you. And on top of all that, it's like, right. Wow, how are you cheating by pushing a rock? How do you do that?
I don't know. I'm always under the impression with sports anyway, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. You got to find little things here and there that you can get away with.
Oh, yeah. It's like in hockey or basketball or football. There's always ways you're cheating in that sport. There's always different things, like how you'll get like a little bit of like advantages on the line, or you'll do like little poke checks to try and like not get noticed, or different things. But even in the Olympics, there's people that cheat. I mean, yeah. It happens in every single sport.
Oh, my God. I mean, it's like, again, I find it extremely insulting, especially if you're a Canadian, that you're supposed to be good at curling, and that you just basically said, oh, we're a bunch of scumbags by basically pushing a fucking rock. And it's gotten to a point now where it's like the memes for this is just hysterical, because it's like, dude, all you're literally doing is this. Mm-hmm. You're just pushing. You're not supposed to be touching the stone. as it's moving. You can't do that. I don't know
Right.
anything about curling, but I enjoy watching it, and even I know that's cheating.
Look, it was just a caress.
Yeah, it's just a tip, boys. That's all it was.
Right. It's like the sushi was like, Canada is winning. We cannot let them take us in our own national sport. Damn it!
Okay, are you speaking Nazi Germany now?
I don't know.
I know it's starting to get into the Nazi Germany. I can hear it now.
Yeah. Hey, just remember at the beginning of the show, I drank some Jack Daniels, so maybe that's getting into it too.
No, that's my joke. No, it's our joke. And then you get the fucking the scythe and the hammer. Communism.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh God.
It's your fault, Tom. Just
man.
remember that. It's your fucking fault.
Well, hey, I had to come up with something a little different. We don't have Professor Rogers here for the time being, so.
Professor Rogers, dude. If I was able to do a Professor Rogers, Sora AI character, which for some of you that are listening, do you know how fucking bad I want to do Damien and Tom as AI characters? But for one, they need to have an account in order to do it. And second, I can't do it against the will because the app says no, I can't do it unless it's like Sparky the Dragon, which, by the way, I actually made an AI character about Sparky the Dragon, and it's actually up in public domain on that app. So if you're interested in using him for your own guilty pleasure, he's there for the taking.
I did sign up for Sora, but I don't really know how to use it.
I'll teach you.
Yeah, I bet you will.
I'll teach. Oh, I will.
He's gonna have me fingering a stone in no time.
Yeah, I certainly will.
Oh God, yeah, fingering a stone and curling.
You stop it.
It's like what does the granite stone do to you when they get fingered upside down and sideways?
No. But
Oh boy.
yeah. Speaking of the Olympics, did you guys see that imagery that happened earlier today with, I think it was a pet wolf dog. It was during like the snow sprinting competition for like the women's campaign. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, it was the cross country sprint.
Cross country sprint. Thank you. And apparently the dog's name was Nazgul. I mean, I'm looking at it, I'm like, what is this, fucking Lord of the Rings?
Those dogs over there look like straight up wolves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say it's like what a good like 125, 150 pounds probably or something, if not a little bit.
Yeah, that
more.
was a big dog.
Yeah.
They're huge. My brother has a Swiss mountain dog. And that dog is fucking huge. I can be certain of that. But a wolf dog I would love to own one at least in 20 years from now. Like right now, I got my son coming. That's more than enough that I need as far as like that. But
yeah.
I just find it extremely ironic that the Olympics this year, to me at least, has been just nothing but just highlighted, pure-lated moments, from the wolf dog scandal to fucking cheating in a game about pushing rocks, and then you have the semifinals in men's hockey, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, the gold medal game for women's hockey is tomorrow or Friday.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Somewhere in that line. I don't even know who's in the women's gold medal games. I haven't been paying attention since.
Oh, come on. You know who it is. It's the same two teams as always.
Yeah. US and Canada.
US and Canada. It's been US and Canada every single Olympics except for one, when the US didn't make it to the final.
Yeah. And you know what, though? I got to be honest. I expect that to be a dogfight between the US and Canada, especially in the women's. I would not be surprised if the U.S. actually wins that game in overtime to win the gold. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's very possible. I mean, the U.S. women's team is stacked this year, and the Canadian team is always stacked. So that could really go either way. But then on the flip side, of course, with what we have going on, how about earlier today where the USA beat Sweden with Quinn Hughes getting the overtime winner?
Oh, my God. What a game that was. What a game that was.
I mean, the US got so unlucky, like drawing Sweden in the first round of pretty much the playoffs. I'm like, this sucks. So I was holding my breath there for a while, but they pulled it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think if I'm not mistaken, I think if you guys need to fact check me, be my guest. I think that this was the first time since like 1960 that the United States beat Sweden in any fashion in the Olympics.
Correct.
Whether it's like the gold medal game or like, you know, and in the round robin or anything like that. Because I even remember watching Miracle on Ice. I remember Sweden was mentioned, and the U.S. lost to them in the round robin, but they barely made it in. And the last time that the men's team won the gold medal was the Miracle on Ice. Do I think they could do it again? It's going to be tough. It really just depends on like what happens throughout the weekend. But I don't know. We'll see what it brings to. But that was a great game earlier today.
Well, Canada had a scare against Czechia. But I don't know if you saw where Czechia, when Palat scored to make it 3-2, they had 6 players on the ice.
Oh my god!
Clearly had 6 players on the ice.
Oh yeah, the good old too many men.
I was like, thank God, Canada came back to win that game because we would have never heard the end of it, and they would have been correct. There was too many men on the ice when they scored.
Yeah, but then of course the Olympic review, which will take place like 900 years later. Oh yeah, they were right, but we can't replay it. So tough shit.
Yeah, basically. But I will say is that I almost was on the verge of just laughing my ass off just because how arrogant Canada is in this tournament every time they play. It's like we're the best at this game. This is our game. Almost like they have some sort of special exclusive rights to the fucking sport. Like it's not even your sport to begin with. It was originally invented in Sweden and it got imported over into Canada. So for all you Canadians out there, that's not an insult. That's a fact. So if you really want to look it up, be my guest. You could say hockey was made in Canada, and in reality, it was actually invented in Sweden. It's just that it was adopted in Canada, and Swedes never talk about it. And you wonder why there's so many Swedish players in the NHL that are so goddamn good.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, you want to know what the gold medal forecast is now for the men's hockey?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, so the U.S. is favored to win gold at 48%. Canada follows at 41%. Finland at 11%. Slovakia, less than 1%.
Anybody's got a chance, though, in my opinion. But we'll see. So Jay actually left 2 comments for us. He said the first one is fuck Mitch Marner, fuck CA, or fuck Canada, and fuck the Golden Knights. Just saying, Team USA.
There we go.
And then the second one is Trey Coroner, the man. USA.
Yeah. And how about Sidney Crosby with the possible MCL injury now?
Oh, God.
Yeah. And Victor Hedman was out. I was like, things are looking good for the Islanders. Let's go.
Right. It's crazy. That is crazy, guys. Wow.
Yeah.
I want to see what kind of stink that they're going to put up about players getting injured. Because I remember when John Tavares got injured at the Olympics, and he was the only good player that we had. And guess what? Nobody gave a shit for us.
Right.
No, but I will. And you know what's funny too, ironically, is I actually remember that Olympics, and I remember saying to myself, yeah, that Tavares injury is going to leave a black eye in the NHL, but they came back for it. But the thing is, even if people bitch about it, they're going to still say, because of the new CBA that got signed a year ago or leading into the next season, it's already said that the NHL is going to be participating in the Olympics until 2030. And then when it comes into the States, they're going to sign up for it again. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the NHL stays where they are and they actually get more people, to come over and play for the international team in the Olympics for within that next 10-year span at that point, at least when they do this event.
Right. Yeah.
And that's including the Four Nations face-off.
Yeah, it could happen. And then on top of it, so of course the gold medal game will be Sunday morning, but how about for you guys, what will happen to the Islanders if Kyrou actually decides to jump on board?
Well, I'm going to let Damien go first.
I'm all for it. I mean, if it's going to take a pick and Yzerman, I would make that deal in a heartbeat. Kyrie's still young. I think he's only 27.
Yeah, he's turning 28 in May, I think.
Okay. I mean, I really don't want to give up a first round pick, but when you can get somebody young like that has the potential to be a 40, 50 goal scorer in the league, and you're only giving up Yzerman, which we really don't know what Yzerman is yet. I mean, yes, he's got an incredible shot, but that's it. That could take a long time to develop. And the Islanders are having a good season, so I wouldn't be against this trade.
I wouldn't be either, but here's the thing. Mike Rubb actually made this comment because this is how I found out about the whole Jordan Kyrou thing. And Mike Rubb said specifically, quote, that would be one of the teams that I think can make a push in an in-season trade for Jordan Kyrou. And they've got Cole Yzerman, who's someone that they think might be willing to move as part of a package deal. Now, here's the itch on this whole ordeal. I've heard not only is Cole Yzerman in play, I've also heard Kayshawn Aitchison. In my opinion, I would be more willing to give up Yzerman than Aitchison right now, because Aitchison could very well turn into another Chara. He could very well turn into a hard-hitting defenseman, like another Nicholas Cromwell for all we know. So
yeah, I would be more willing to give up Yzerman over Aitchison too, even though I think Aitchison could be the next Romanov.
I agree, but I will say 2 first-round picks, though, I think is too much for a guy like Kyrou. Like, I know the Blues are...
Yeah, that's too much. I wouldn't give up 2. I wouldn't give up 2. 1. They're getting 1. I wouldn't do 2.
Right.
Yeah, come on. Like, this is not the NBA, where the NBA, they give up, 7 first-round picks for, 10 years for a 35-year-old. That's just not happening. But I think in that retrospective, I think that could very well be the case if you give up Yzerman or Aitchison, but mainly Yzerman, and then you give up a first-round pick, and I would say not only the first, I would give up the one they got from Colorado for Brock Nelson, but at the same time, I also wouldn't be against the idea of using – I think I said the proposal last week, Damien, if you can remember. Mm-hmm. I said a first-round pick, the one they got from Colorado, and then I also said Yzerman, a second and a third, and I think I said a fourth in 2028, and you were like, deal.
Mm-hmm. Deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I look at it. So to answer your question, yes, I would be completely open to the idea of the Islanders trading for Jordan Kyrou. They could very well hit.
This team is just so desperate for a scorer and somebody who can shoot the puck. Now we have just a bunch. I mean, besides Horvat, we just have a bunch of players that just love the pass.
Usually, I mean, Matt Barzal loves to do it, but my only question is what exactly would you be willing to do if? Let me ask you this: would you be willing to, trade JG Pajot or Anders Lee right now and just completely destroy the chemistry of the locker room just for an immediate fix, or just hold on to the two of them and let them both walk for nothing? What would you do?
I think because the Islanders are overachieving this season, it makes it harder to trade them away. Because going into this season, I was like, both of them, they got to get something for them before losing them for nothing. But now it's kind of like the Tuck situation in Buffalo. It's like, well, now the team is overachieving, and maybe we hold on to these players and make a run.
Right. And at the same time, right now, I mean, now you have to worry about the fact that basically if you lose Alex Tuck for nothing, obviously that's not going to be good. But at the same time, if he finally comes to his senses and decides he doesn't want over $10 million a year, because then you're getting in the McDavid territory. I mean, what else does he want? And I will say, Alex Tuck is not he's not worth over $10 million. I could see him maybe around 8.5, 9, somewhere around there. I could totally see that. But when you start getting into $10 million and you're starting to get into where you're inching up closer to McDavid territory, Pasternak territory, it's not smart.
It usually never is. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, if I'm the Sabres by any means, I would say try to get Alex Tuck to stay long term, but even if he asks for $10 million, you should probably ask him, did you see your buddy Jeff Skinner? He just got his ass bought out by the San Jose Sharks, and they said, we don't want you anymore. And that was during the Olympic break. And that says more about San Jose than it does about Buffalo.
Yeah, they turned this contract.
Yeah, and then we're talking about San Jose, who's kind of an offensive juggernaut this year out there, that not really playing much defensive hockey, a lot of offensive hockey, and Jeff Skinner still wasn't part of those plans.
Right. Especially, I mean, the fact they had Macklin Celebrini and everybody out there, I mean, they're making some strides, but Skinner is someone that can produce offensively, and even they didn't want him.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say exactly why they did this move. I only can think of it because they probably couldn't find any space for him in the lineup. That's the only reason why I think they waived him. Or either that or he wanted out of San Jose. And to be honest, they're really not that bad. I mean, I think they're getting better. Celebrini is a hell of a player, don't get me wrong. And I like what San Jose is doing. But I just thought, even when they signed Skinner, I said San Jose is not going to make the playoffs. And I would have said that if they kept Jeff Skinner through the beginning of the end, up to the deadline, and they were able to trade him prior to that, they get something for him in return, maybe a third or a fourth round pick, maybe a sixth if you're lucky, then to me, I think it was worth it. But because they terminated his contract, it says more about the Sharks than it does about Jeff Skinner, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, 100%. And, it's just absolutely crazy how that whole thing worked out. But it is also interesting because the Sabres are speculated to possibly target a couple of players now. And one of them, of course, is going to be Bobby McMahon ahead of the March 6th trade deadline. Because, of course, right now, he is considered one of the better option fits, being around $1.35 million for the cap hit. And, of course, what will happen, he'll give him an ideal middle six forward speed, and he's got some scoring. So he's had like 19 goals, 13 assists. And he has a heavy game, which is good. You need to be physical. And at the same time, Toronto would probably want to look at a first-round pick. But at the same time, what happens is that the Sabres have a better prospect pool than Toronto has, and we have cap space that we can work with compared to what the Oilers or the Avalanche would have. So that's one option that's been noted as speculation. But then there's actually another one, and there's actually a third player, both from the Winnipeg Jets, Luke Schenn and Logan Stanley. And if you look at the defensive side of things, I mean, Luke Schenn, another right shot defenseman, plays a heavy game, and basically from there, hard-nosed defenseman, and basically works well with the penalty kill. And of course, he's been in the league 18 years, could be someone that could mentor some of the younger players that we have. Or if you go with Logan Stanley, then what happens, he's a left shot defender, but at the same time, he has depth. He's got a heavy game, so he's physical, which is a big plus, similar to what you see with Dahlin. But at the same time, he's a 6'7" defenseman, and he's had 18 points in 55 games, and that's 9 goals, 9 assists.
And so he's 9 years younger than Schenn.
Exactly. So it's like, if I were to choose between Schenn and Stanley, I'd go younger and get the additional size, because, I mean, he's got to be one of the tallest defensemen in the league right now.
I mean, it's definitely suitable. I mean, if the Sabres are in need of a blue line, which they've been needing for years, my philosophy is that it never doesn't hurt to add another, right-handed defenseman. It never hurts. But they're hard to come by. Left ones especially are hard to come by, but righties are pretty common. But, again, I would also get a defenseman just for the sake of insurance, because you really never know with T.S. Samuelson. That dude is made of glass, and I think you know that at this point.
Yeah, and he was out for some games this year already, too, as usual, so that doesn't surprise us.
No, it usually doesn't. Or if
I
you're
heard
willing
Luka Luukkonen was out again. Like, how's that guy out again?
How many games has that goalie missed in the last several years? I know.
Too many, and unfortunately, it's affecting his trade value now, because I don't know what they would really get for him.
Yeah, well, it's going to tank it a little bit further. I mean, loved watching him back as a rookie in the combine and everything, and then it's just once he hit the big stage, that was it. Injuries upon injuries upon injuries.
Yeah, it's not a good look. I mean, I understand the Sabres wanting to be competitive and you want to make those moves, but is it also possible, because Damien used the word overachieving on the Islanders, do you feel like the Sabres are in the same category, or do you think they're finally living up to their potential? I asked you a question.
Yeah.
Did you hear what I said?
I know you asked Damien a question about living up to her potential.
Oh,
No,
no,
I was asking
that
you.
was for you.
Oh.
Are the Buffalo Sabres overachieving, or do you think they're finally living up to their potential?
So here's the thing. Do I think there's a little bit of overachieving? Yes. Do I think they're finally starting to live up to the potential? I would say as the season's gone on, it's been a little bit better, and I think it's moving in that direction. I still want to see what these last 25 games show, because if they can, be consistent the last 25 games and get into the playoffs and get at least a wild card spot, if not, get a spot in the divisional, then there you go. Then I think they will finally have proven themselves as being capable of doing what they need to do out on the ice. But it is something I'm still a little skeptical about it, because I want to see it be sustained even longer, not just this season.
Right, which makes perfect sense. I mean, you want to see what the team does, and then, you go from there at that point. But I think both teams could really make big strides. But I think for me, I think the Islanders have at least one more big trade up their sleeve, because it's been said for several weeks, even before the Olympics, that Matthew Darche wanted to make one big trade before the March 6th deadline. And it's becoming clearer by the day that he's interested in Jordan Kyrou. And if it's gonna be that determining to get him, and you trade one of your best prospects in your pool, including a first round pick, I would do it. But the only question is, how much control does the team have? Because I don't even know if Kyrou is even a free agent this year. That's the only thing. I don't know for a fact.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to gauge like what is going to happen with it. But if you guys can get Kyrou, hey, great. If we can get someone like, I would say like a Logan Stanley in here versus a Luke Shen, I'll take Stanley every day.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it looks like Jordan Kyrou is signed through the 30-31 season.
Oh, and how much is he making?
8 years, $65 million.
Do it. Fucking do it. You know what? Honestly, fucking do it. Because at this point, if the Islanders are willing to make that kind of an adjustment to the salary cap just to make room for Jordan Kyrou, if they're willing to trade a first round pick as what it's rumored to be, and Cole Eisman, do it. Fucking do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I mean, you guys should make that move. It actually would benefit you.
It would. Because at that point, the Islanders would finally be getting a legit, sure thing goal scorer. And I'm not talking 30-plus goals. I'm potentially talking about 40-plus in this situation. Because the last time the Islanders, and I've mentioned it before, the last time the Islanders had a 40-plus goal scorer on their team was Jason Blake. And that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, and that was like he pulled that out of his ass. The last time they had a true 40-goal scorer was probably Zygmunt Palffy.
Yeah,
we're going back to the 90s.
Right.
Well,
I was going to say, like, mid-90s.
Well, I mean, if you really want to get technical here, Damien, we could say Thomas Vanek, but he was only here for 5 months.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good couple months, but, ultimately he didn't want to play for us.
Right.
Or the Sabres anymore.
He wanted to go to Minnesota.
Or Montreal. He wanted out of there real quick. Yeah. And actually, Jay threw another comment in here as well. And he says, what do you guys think of Albert Smith from what we saw in the Olympics?
Who?
Yeah, I mean, he had a really good Olympics for Latvia. 18-year-old. He's going to be eligible for the draft this year. So he could be a really nice pickup for a team looking for a nice, physical, steady defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was on the Olympic team, and he's only – wait a minute. He's a prospect, and he's playing on the Latvian national team in the Olympics?
Yeah, 18-year-old.
Mm-hmm. I thought he was like a men's skier or something, or like a figure skater. No. What the fuck?
No, nope. Albert Smits. Yeah, Latvian professional hockey player who's a defenseman for the Mikkelin Jukurit on the Finnish Liga. And he's actually regarded as a top prospect eligible for the draft this year. So apparently, just to give you an idea, I mean, he's played last season, 2024-25, he was in the Finnish U20 league, and he also played with Liga, so he played with the big boys as well. But in the U20, 21 games played, 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 points, 2 penalty minutes. With the big boys, he had 9 games with 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points, 4 penalty minutes. And then, of course, he played in the U18 and the World Junior Championships. And in the U18, 5 games played, he had 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points with 2 penalty minutes. In the World Juniors, 5 games played, 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points, and 2 penalty minutes altogether. But basically, one of the things that he's known for, I mean, he can up his style quite a bit, and he's been having a good games.
All right, we'll get him to pair with Schaefer.
Yeah.
2 18-year-olds, baby.
Right. And the interesting thing is that in November 2025, the reason he got called up is that Robert's Mamsis actually had an injury, so that's where he got called up to the big boy team for the World Juniors. But I mean, he held his own.
Yep.
There you go.
So that's that. Yeah. But you know what? I was gonna say, I don't think we really have too much else to talk about here. So, well, you guys have anything else you want to throw in before we wrap it up?
Just one, and that is that if you missed last week's episode, we announced that Jeff Nixon, the former Bills defensive back, is going to be on I-86 After Dark tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you don't want to miss that episode, stick around, and we'll have that up pretty soon. And if you guys want to check it out, it'll be also available on YouTube and Spotify. Great interview Tom and I did a while back, and I will say I really liked him, and he was a really good interviewer as far as like discussing his career and all that stuff.
Yeah, Jeff Nixon's a great guy, and actually, I've been talking with him a little bit since, and really nice. Like overall with his time, he does a lot of good stuff in the area too. So we appreciate him jumping on, and of course, a really great conversation we had with him. So join us 10 p.m. Eastern, and you'll get to see that interview. And then Jay actually mentions another question. He's asking me, and he said, "If the Sabres don't make the playoffs, Hammer, what needs to change?" Okay. 2 things. One, we got to boost our defensive pairings a little bit further. That's one thing, because one of the problems is that even though we can control the offensive zone on the ice, defensively in the neutral zone is still a little bit of an issue from time to time. And of course, I'm still not sold on Samuelson with his injury history. So that's another thing we have to do. So of course, I mean, you have Samuelson when he's playing well. And then of course, we know Darlene Anchor's defense. But Owen Power is still developing, so that's going to take time. I mean, your bottom pairs are not where you want them to be for sustainable success. So that's going to be one area we would have to look at. And then I would also want to add some additional forward depth too, and that's another thing. So that's where we kind of went back a little bit earlier when we ended up talking about possibly someone like a McMahon that can come out and basically give that middle group depth. But I would definitely take a look at the defense first, get another solid player that we can work with. And then, I mean, you have Kesselring, so he's been a big help, but get one more person in there, that should take care of that. And then ultimately we're going to have to look at goaltending too, because the 3 goaltender roster, we can't keep doing that. And I would almost have to say at this point, here's a little bit of a prediction I could possibly throw out there. So I would say Lyon stays. UPL, if we can trade him to get somebody, do it, because his injury history is not something I would want to see long term. But if I'm Kekalainen, I would look at giving Devin Levi some time up here and possibly get him in as your number 2 goaltender.
Yeah, that's a good synopsis, I think. But I think,
well, I think the Sabres better make the playoffs this year.
Well, yeah, I want their ass in the playoffs. I'm sick of this, 14 plus years of nothing.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with the Sabres because I think that the big test is going to be what happens to them after the Olympics because they haven't been playing in nearly 3 weeks, and I think it's getting to a point where you need to see what they do within the second half.
Mm-hmm. Right. So now it's just let's get through the last 25 games. And as long as the Sabres can hold on and they can keep winning games, and they've been consistently winning. Now, we lost the last 2 going into the Olympic break. We lost one in overtime. That was against Tampa, and then we ended up losing after that. But at the same time, as long as we can get back on track and start winning and not blow anything in the last 25 games, then I think, okay, the Sabres will have achieved getting into the playoffs. That's one of the big things they wanted to do this year. So now they have to sustain that.
Yeah, I agree. So I think in general, though, I think, that's about it for this week because, we kind of ran out of topics at this point. But I think it was a pretty good show overall. Wouldn't you guys think?
Yeah, definitely. And, of course, if you're in the Buffalo area, be careful tonight, too, because there's freezing rain outside right now. And I almost fell on my ass walking from my friend's apartment to my apartment.
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Trying to get to the car.
Yeah, apparently someone about an hour ago posted, it's dangerously slick out, be careful, and that's up in the Lockport area.
Wait. Well, like yesterday, it was like that movie, The Fog.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I couldn't even see the houses across the street.
Right. I couldn't either. I was like, what the hell's going on? And and apparently on one of the Lockport Facebook feeds that I've been keeping an eye on, apparently lots of stuff on the Niagara County fire wire with people sliding out, and the street by my house, my old house, was pure ice. So I'm like, oh great, and I hate driving on that during the winter anyways. Then someone says slicker than dog shit outside. And then someone else said, thanks for the heads up. We went to put the dog out. Poor guy literally slid right off the deck. So, careful, brother. We don't want you to mess up your leg again.
Yeah.
No, I only got one good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to lose that ass, Tom. So let's put it that way.
Hey, I put all-terrain tires on my truck. I'm all good now. I didn't settle for the normal highway ones. I put the all-terrains on.
Tom, if you fell on your ass at this point of the situation, you would probably wake up the Soviet Union again and have the reincarnation of the USSR.
Oh, God, I remember when we played that on here one time on the old show.
Yeah, and yeah, here you are with your fucking Swedish accent.
The USSR communist anthem.
God damn it. Those are the memories.
Yeah, that was good old days when we had Florio to worry about.
Oh yeah, Florio the communist. No. But in general, is there anything else you guys want to say before we wrap up this week's episode?
Oh, I do. I forgot.
Sure, go for it.
My next Islander meetup here in Buffalo. I didn't mention it last week. So we're going to be doing the Saturday, February 28th game at 6 p.m. against the Columbus Blue Jackets. And we're going to be doing that at Breyer Brothers Brewing in downtown Buffalo.
Okay.
There you go. Tom, you should go over there and give him a big hug.
Hey, they got good pizza. They got good. My buddy Matt runs the pizzeria there. They do Chicago deep dish, Chicago tavern style, and Detroit style pizzas. They're very good.
Nice. I was going to say, I haven't had deep dish in a while. Last time I got Chicago deep dish, actually, I mean, I have been to Chicago before, so obviously I've had it. But yeah, it's been a while since I've had any of that stuff.
I don't know. I love his Detroit style, so I never made it to the Chicago deep dish yet.
Yeah. Yeah, Detroit style is actually something I wanted to try out, at some point. And I heard that's supposed to be really good. And it's all the way up to the edge of the crust and everything. So, yeah, definitely would do that. But I would tell you one thing, though. Whatever you guys do, if you want the worst pizza ever anywhere in this country, do not do Altoona style from Altoona, Pennsylvania.
What's Altoona style?
Basically, they throw like whole slices of cheddar like on top of it, and the whole pizza
Oh
looks
no,
like
no,
ass.
no. That's gross.
Yeah,
No.
it's like disgusting, like what they put together with that.
Well, I don't even like when they put American cheese on like apple pie slices. It's like,
Yeah, I can't stand
I
it
don't know about
either.
that.
It's just crazy. But
Well,
it's like the way they do it is yeah, they throw American cheese on top of everything. It's just absolutely it's like why?
yeah. Well, let me ask you all a question real quick. Do you guys have like Caesar salad slices in Buffalo as far as like pizzerias go?
Never heard of that.
No, haven't heard of that either.
Okay, so that must be a Long Island thing. So to give you an idea, if you ever had a chicken Caesar salad before, think of it like that, but on a pizza slice, but no like cheese or tomato or anything. It's just grilled chicken with salad dressing and lettuce, and you got yourself a slice. It's actually pretty good. So if you get a chance to come down to Long Island, I'll take you to Bormello's, and they make really good Caesar salad slices.
I was
Okay.
gonna say if I'm gonna have a pizza, I don't want salad on my pizza. But that's just me.
Yeah, I don't want to eat healthy. Come on now.
I want like the good shit. Like take like I gotta say, Bobby, if you come up to Buffalo at some point, we gotta take you to fucking Carbone's. Get you like a real good like Buffalo style pizza and load it and have all the fucking extra grease, charred
Yeah.
pepperoni and sweet sauce, and get you like a big ass bucket of wings.
Yeah, for the most part, I probably would.
Yeah. No, and I sent you guys on the chat the Altoona style pizza, which looks like total crap.
I got to see that for myself at this point, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's disgusting, dude. It really is. But
Yeah, I got to check that out.
But yeah, it's like literally, it's like a big ass block of American cheddar on it.
First off, the imagery of this just looks like something off of fucking Reddit. Well, it is, but like
It is.
it feels like it's almost like if somebody took a piece of toast and took a sliced green pepper and put American cheese on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's literally what Altoona style pizza is. They cover everything on there with American cheese.
That
It
to
just
me
looks like
a
burger. It looks like a burger.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's nasty. But
Looks
yeah,
like cat
Altoona
food.
style. Yeah, Altoona style pizza. Hell no.
Yeah, but I got to show you the salad slices when we leave the show. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'll take a look at it from there on out. But I think that's about it for this week. And I know we've said it like 4 times now, but like I think at this point, this is like the end of the.
Yeah, I got
episode.
nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus, Damien's
neither.
got to hit the road in a few. So
Yeah.
meantime,
I got to hit the road and battle the ice.
yeah,
Yep,
I had to do it earlier. So, but I will say, the new all-terrain tires I threw on the Cooper Discoverers, those are actually good set. I like them. So
Yeah.
so far it's good. But of course, Niagara Falls is like a war zone with the potholes right now.
Yeah. So I think with that being said, we're going to wrap up this week's episode and we'll go from there. And just remember, we have the interview coming up at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Jeff Nixon. So if you don't want to miss that episode, be sure to stick around on Spotify and YouTube. And from all of us here at 86, I'm Buffalo Bob. We have fucking Ginger Hammer. Fuck you. And we have the great Dame. And go fuck yourself. And I'll take you guys later. And
The great Black Dame.
Yep.
Yeah.
Black dude.
And Jay says, great show. So, hey, Jay, thanks for being here again as usual. Thanks to my neighbor for hooking me up with the Jack Daniels ginger ale. That was cool. But yeah, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you guys next week.
Everybody have a good week.
You too.